Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pink Palace. First off, I want to apologize that I have not gotten more videos out there. Things got a little crazy with work. I work in the travel nursing industry, so when everything happened, it got a little bit insane. So now that things have calmed down a bit, I've been able to readjust and start coming up with some more class ideas. So I'm finally able to re-release some new videos for you guys. So I'm really excited. Peter says hi. And today we're going to be doing a heart opening class. So focusing primarily on like the upper chest area here, the shoulders, and just really opening up that area to receive. So hopefully you guys like it, and let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start seated today. Apparently Peter's gonna be taking class with us. And just get yourself comfortable, whether you need to put a block or a bolster underneath you just to heighten your seat a little bit, or if you're good just sitting comfortably like I am, whatever works is totally fine. And once you find your seat, just slowly close your eyes and just focus on your breath. Notice your inhales and your exhales. Inhale, exhale. Just continue focusing on that, maybe noticing the sounds around you. For me, I notice the birds outside and maybe some cars on the street. And just acknowledge it and then let it pass. Acknowledging and letting it pass. Now, since we are focusing on opening the heart today, the inspiration that I've come into this practice with is that no small act of kindness goes unnoticed. This is something that I always try to carry into my daily life, whether it's work, whether it's, family issues, whether it's my friends, my neighbors. I think it's just always something that's good to keep in mind, especially right now, because I think any act of kindness is so greatly appreciated by the people around us, and it makes us feel good too. So maybe just keep that in mind going forward in the next week. And I think that it's particularly apt, since we're doing a heart opening class, to focus on something like that. So once you feel ready, you can start to open up your eyes, maybe flutter them open, maybe just rub your hands on your thigh a little bit, just get your body ready for class today. And now that Peter's walked away, I'll center myself on the mat a little more. And we're just gonna stay seated here for the beginning of class. And we're going to inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. And exhale, you're going to bend to the left-hand side. And you can keep both arms up in the air here. We're not going to bring our hands down to the ground like I would typically do. And the point in doing this is you can help open up your side body if you just gently pull at the wrist a little bit, just giving a little bit of encouragement for your side body to find some openness. So just take some nice deep breaths here, really filling up the side body space here. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back to center, and exhale, bring it to the right side. I can really feel the tightness in my side body for these, so I'm not stretching as far as I normally would, but just do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Even if it's just a little bit of a bend, just something to get that openness and that expression of openness in the side body. Just take a couple more deep breaths. And inhale, bring it back to center, and exhale, bring your hands down to your knees. And then here, since we are going to be focusing on the chest, I figure it might be good to just get that early on in the practice, that feeling, so we're taking that into all of the poses that we're doing today. So what you'll do here is you'll just inch your hands behind you, just with whatever feels comfortable. You don't need to go too far back. Actually, I'll turn so you guys can see what I'm doing. And just this, so that way your shoulder blades are kind of kissing each other on the back is what you want. And then once you feel comfortable and situated, just tilting your gaze up to the sky. So for me, I'm just looking at the top of my cabinets. For you, it might just be a wall, maybe a window, but just tilt that gaze upward a tad. And then just take a few breaths here. Really notice what you're feeling. For me, I'm feeling the tightness in my shoulders a bit. I know I've been crunched over the computer for the past couple of weeks, so I definitely can feel it in my shoulders whenever I do stuff like this. But just acknowledge whatever you're feeling and bring acknowledgement to any places of tightness and see if you can try to let them release a little bit. And then slowly, we're just gonna walk our hands back towards our bum, just getting ourselves back up to a neutral spine. And then from here, we're gonna go into tabletop to do some cat-cows. So just meet me there in your own time, in your own pace. Sorry, I'm just getting dust off of me. There's a lot of dust on my mat. And then for your tabletop, just make sure that your palms, your wrist here, is just right below your shoulder blade and that your knees are right below your hips. And your feet should be flat on the mat. So you don't need to have them engaged here. You can just let them stay flat. And on an inhale, you're gonna drop the belly and exhale, round the belly. Inhale to cat and exhale to cow. So just do this a few times in your own pace, maybe wiggling back and forth a little bit. But while you're doing this, really bring attention to your cow pose, since that is a very heart-opening pose. And maybe just find ways to make it more open, maybe widening the stance of the, oh my goodness, I cannot speak. The stance, you're maybe widening the width between your hands, just to give your shoulders a little bit more width, to let you open up your chest more, or maybe even just bringing it forward a bit, coming forward into a cat cobra variation almost. Just whatever feels good. This should be something that feels good and is in your own time. So we're just gonna do this for about 5 to 6 breaths. So once you're done, we'll just meet back in tabletop. So once you make your way back to tabletop, we're gonna get into downward facing dog. So you'll just come up onto your feet here and then press through the palms of your hands to get yourself into downward dog here. And just take a moment to really pedal out the feet. Just really extend those legs. That always feels like such a nice good stretch in my hamstrings when I do this. And then on an exhale, slowly walk your feet up to the front of the mat, and I'll turn to face you guys. You're just gonna hang here in your forward fold for a little bit, maybe swaying side to side, nodding the head, yes or no. Just get a little movement in your neck as well. And then on an inhale, you'll half lift, bringing the gaze forward, and exhale, back to forward fold. On an inhale, you're going to sweep your hands all the way up to the sky. And exhale, bring them down to heart center. So what we're gonna do here is, of course, I'm sure you guessed it, something else that's gonna help open up the chest area, on the front chest area. And so what you'll do is you're gonna bring your hands behind your back. You can clasp them. It doesn't really matter which thumb is on top. You can use your dominant or non-dominant. Sorry, I'll pause for the siren outside. All right, I think it's past us. So you will bring the hands behind the back and just bring the shoulders back as well. Bring them up and back just so they're sitting nicely on the back there, and the blades should be almost kissing each other. And then just keep your clasped hands just a little bit away from your tailbone. So you don't want it fully touching your back, so you're like pulling yourself back. You want it just enough tension back there to bring awareness to the chest, but also keeping it engaged. And just take a few breaths, just maybe noticing any tightness you might feel. And just trying to let it go. Really letting the heart open up to what you're feeling. And then just gently release the hands to the side body. Maybe shake it out a little bit. It might feel a little funky from being behind your back for that long. And then inhale, lift your hands up, and exhale, lower down to your forward fold. Inhale to half lift, and exhale to downward facing dog. Now from here, maybe just, jump your feet, cuddle it out again, really just getting that movement in the leg that feels good for you. And then from here, you're going to lift the left leg up behind you and just make sure you're not opening the hips. So you're going to keep it straight so that way your hips are still closed. And on an exhale, bring the left foot up between both of your hands. And inhale to bring your arms to your side. Now this is definitely a very core engaging pose, so it's okay if you're a little wobbly. If it does feel like it's too much, you can always bring your forearm down to your knee and bring your arm up overhead, just to give yourself a little support if you feel you need the support in your arms here. Just whatever feels good. We aren't gonna stay here super long, so just inhale and then exhale, bring it back down to frame your front foot again. Now what we're gonna do is a little bit of an opening in the right side body here. So you're gonna keep your hand flush with the outside of your foot, and your arm should be pretty much flush with your calf here. And then on an inhale, you're going to lift your right arm up overhead. So you should feel pretty engaged here because your core is going to be engaged, and so is your upper body. And then exhale, let it go, back down to the ground. And then on an inhale, just lift yourself, and exhale, bring yourself to downward facing dog again. Cuddle it out. We're going to take that variation on the right hand side. I did not realize how much I would be reacting to this. My core is definitely not as strong as I thought it was. And inhale, lift the right leg up behind you, making sure you're going to keep it straight. And exhale, bring it between both of your hands so they're framing the foot. So same thing as the left side, you're going to inhale to bring your arms up next to your face, gaze forward, opening the chest, maybe finding a little bit of a bend on this side even if you can. Or if this is too much, like I said, you can always bring your forearm down to your knee and do this variation instead. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. Just a couple more breaths. And exhale. Bring yourself down, frame the foot, and we're gonna take that twist on the left side now. So making sure that your hand is flush with the outside of the foot and your arm is flush with the calf. Inhale and lift that left arm up overhead. Just take a couple breaths, push through it, and exhale, let it all go down to the ground. Take an inhale just to give yourself a little lift here, and on an exhale, push yourself back to downward facing dog. I cannot tell you how good this feels after doing both of those sides. Now from here, you're just gonna come back to tabletop, and we're not gonna stay here for long. We're not doing anything in tabletop really. So from tabletop, you're just gonna make your way to put your feet under your thighs. So you're gonna be sitting like this, side so you can see what I'm doing. You're gonna sit like this. Now if this is uncomfortable for you, I know my mom struggles a bit with her knees. If this is too much engagement here, it is totally okay to put a blanket here so that way you have more lift in the knees so you're not fully bending down. Just whatever feels comfortable. You can even put a block in between yourself just to give yourself a little bit of lift. We won't be here super long. This is just a prep pose to get us into camel pose, which I'm going to show you. So this is going to be the height of our class. And from here, you're just going to bring yourself to a high seat. So you'll be on your knees. You can keep your feet flat. You don't have to engage them or anything here. And then gaze forward. Bring the shoulders up and back. So you're opening up the chest. Bring the gaze up. And then slowly start to bend at the back. Maybe catching the feet if that feels okay. This is a lot for me. So if it's a lot for you, that's totally fine. You don't have to do that. And you can just come and maybe catch the back of the thigh. But just as long as you're getting that openness and a little bit of a bend in the back, that's what we want. So you don't have to go full down if you cannot do that. That's totally fine. And we're just gonna take a couple of breaths here. And then slowly when you're ready, bring yourself back up, bringing the spine back to neutral, letting the siren pass in the background, and just making your way back down to that seat. In whatever way is comfortable for you. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. Okay, I think the noise has passed. Lots of sirens today. I have no clue what's going on out there. Hasn't been this loud in quite a while. All right, we're back in our seat. And now that we're back in our seat, and now that all of the noise has passed outside, just get yourself comfortable. Really bring yourself to the breath. That was a short practice, but it was definitely very engaging, so it's okay if you're feeling a little sweaty. My face is probably red. I'm sure once I look at the video, my face is going to be red as a tomato. It usually is if I work out. So just close your eyes here and just notice the breath. In and out, in and out. And while you're breathing, maybe just take a minute to think about what you accepted into your heart in this practice today. Whether it was just acceptance for yourself or acceptance for the poses you were in. Maybe you were able to push yourself a little harder than you usually are. Or maybe it was just, it felt good to move your body, and that's totally okay if that's what you got out of it too. But maybe just take a moment to notice what you got out of it and appreciate that and be thankful for it. And may we go forward with open hearts into the world every day. Thank you guys. Hopefully I will have some more videos for you soon, but I'm really glad that I was able to film another one. I know it's been a bit, but thank you for following along. I hope you like it, and let me know if there's anything you guys want me to address specifically. I'm more than happy to do that, and thanks for watching. Bye.